Well, we've now seen it. The first press briefing from Donald Trump's new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, wearing what can only be described as a cartoonishly large cross necklace. She announced the same thing that Trump's former press secretary announced at her first press briefing. Of course, Kayleigh McEnany saying, "I will tell you the truth from this podium." Unclear if they know the difference between podium and lectern, not subject matter for today. And Karoline Leavitt saying the exact same thing. Let's take a look.
You're up here in this briefing room speaking to the American public. Do you view yourself and your role as advocating on behalf of the president or providing the unvarnished truth that is, not to lie, not to obfuscate to the American people?
I commit to telling the truth from this podium every single day. I commit to speaking on behalf of the President of the United States. That is my job. And I will say it's very easy to speak truth from this podium when you have a president who is implementing policies that are wildly popular with the American people, and that's exactly what this administration is doing.
So this is a promise that has been often made and rarely really stuck to. And Karoline Leavitt broke this promise just moments later and really never looked back, with some exceptions, which I will tell you. The first lie came really, really quickly, and it was Karoline Leavitt saying that the administration believes birthright citizenship is unconstitutional, and therefore, implicitly, what that means is that it's illegal, it's against the law. Take a look at what she had to say.
The folks that you mentioned have a right to have that legal opinion, but it is in disagreement with the legal opinion of this administration. This administration believes that birthright citizenship is unconstitutional.
So not only is birthright citizenship not unconstitutional, it's in the Constitution. Imagine if I said to some of these gun people, I don't think the right to bear arms is constitutional. What do you think they'd say? They would say, look, here's the Bill of Rights to the Constitution. It's in the Constitution. Gun ownership is by definition constitutional because it's in the Constitution. And similarly, when you look at the 14th Amendment, it establishes birthright citizenship. Now, you might not like it, but to say it's unconstitutional is something very different altogether. The 14th Amendment was ratified in 1868, and it says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Now, there is a bunch of sort of I don't even know what to call it. There's legal conjecture from some of these anti-immigration people, which argues that the critical part that says no, birthright citizenship is not a real thing is the subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And often they will argue that if someone comes here from another country pregnant and gives birth here, that they are only here either traveling or illegally or temporarily. In all of these scenarios, what they like to argue is they aren't really subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. They don't have legal status, therefore they are actually subject to the jurisdiction of whatever country they are from. It falls apart extraordinarily quickly because, as many of you know, when you're here in the United States, you are subject to the laws of whatever jurisdiction you reside in. If you come here from wherever, and you go to a state that has legal cannabis, your ability to buy cannabis legally is subject to the jurisdiction of where you are. If you're in a state that does not have legal cannabis, the reason that you are or aren't allowed to buy cannabis when you come to the United States from another country, even visiting, even illegally, whatever, has to do not with the law of the source country, but with the law of the jurisdiction in which you find yourself. So the constitutional argument is not very good. But it's not only a constitutional argument that explains why birthright citizenship is legal. The U.S. Supreme Court has also looked at this and has consistently affirmed that this is indeed not a mistake. Birthright citizenship is constitutional. There's a landmark case, United States v. Wong Kim Ark from 1898, and the court ruled that a child born in the United States to Chinese immigrant parents was an American citizen under the 14th Amendment. So it's in the Bill of Rights, and we have Supreme Court precedent. So then we go to, well, what about changing birthright citizenship? That would require a constitutional amendment. Birthright citizenship is also consistent with international norms. The United States, another line they love is no other country does this. There's no birthright citizenship anywhere else. That's also not true. About 30 countries grant birthright citizenship. So it's not unusual. It's not particularly rare. It's supported by the Constitution. It's supported by legal precedent. They just don't like it. If they were just honest and they said, listen, it is the law of the land. It's been the law of the land for a long time. The Supreme Court has affirmed it. We just don't like it and we want to change that. I would respect them a little bit more. I don't think they're going to get very far with this it's not constitutional argument. That being said, when new Attorney General Pam Bondi was asked, will you support and uphold birthright citizenship as Attorney General? She did not say yes. She said she's going to study it. So it would not be a surprise if they try to come up with some novel legal interpretation to say birthright citizenship not actually legal. Now, back to Karoline Leavitt, Donald Trump's new press secretary. The bar is so low. I have to hand it to her. She did say that the drones seen over New Jersey were not the enemy. Implicitly, they were not aliens or whatever. So let's take a look at what she had to say.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
So listen, you can argue we should have been told ahead of time that this was something that the FAA had approved for research and for other reasons. You could argue that it was predictable that there would be some panic because people were not informed in advance of what was happening. But she, as far as I know, at least told the truth about that. So the first press briefing for Karoline Leavitt, not going well overall, many, many lies. But now I want to focus in on one specific topic that came up during the press briefing, and that is the price of, it's either going to be gasoline or eggs, right? The price of eggs. Let's talk about that. Many of us have struggled with sleep at one point or another. A sleep aid many turn to is melatonin because it's a non-pharmaceutical remedy clinically proven to work without the side effects you might get with antihistamines or prescription meds. My favorite way to take melatonin is with the Dream Hot Cocoa Powder from our sponsor, Beam. It works. When you mix Dream Powder into hot water or milk for a delicious mug of cocoa, half an hour later, blissfully sleeping. No sugar added, it's naturally sweetened, and it comes in delicious flavors. My favorite is cinnamon cocoa, but vanilla chai is great too. You can get better sleep with melatonin, proven to help you fall asleep and stay asleep longer. Feeling rested makes the next day so much better. Keep Dream Powder nearby to soothe you to sleep when you need it. Get 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is in the description.